Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Bob Martin. I'm the President and CEO of the Imagine America Foundation. I want to welcome all of our visitors to the fifth year of the IAF Career College Exposition webinar series, where we have now produced and distributed more than 160 webinars like today's program, with our total viewers and listeners now surpassing 6,000 local educators and counselors. I'm particularly excited about today's topic, exploring career-based education and careers, sponsored by the Refrigeration School, also known as RSI. Located in Phoenix, Arizona, RSI is a 23-year partner of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admission-based financial aid to more than 1,500 enrolling Imagine America students. If you'd like more information on our scholarship program and how you can help your students apply for our scholarship to attend this school, visit our website at www.imagine-america.org, or you can call or email either Lauren Cunningham at the foundation or myself. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading supporter to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a continuing serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sectors of the country desperately looking for qualified employees. We simply need to continue doing more.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tamara Walp, and I am the Director of High School Admissions at RSI. Happy to be here today and really support our relationship that we have with Imagine America. So thank you for having us here. But a little bit about us. You notice this very first slide, our family of schools. So RSI is in Phoenix, Arizona. However, we're part of a larger organization called Stratitech, which about 15 years ago purchased both Tulsa Welding School and RSI together. So even though we operate under two different names, we are the same brand throughout the country in terms of all the programs. Like he mentioned, our HVAC, refrigeration, electrical, and welding are offered at each of our campuses. And I'd like to highlight and share that information with you up front because it is a great benefit to our students. They are not only able to attend any of our campuses as a student, but after they graduate, they will also have access to our campuses for any type of refresher training, as well as career opportunities. So when you're a national brand like us, we have schools all over the country. We're able to build larger relationships with employers and provide opportunities for our students, whether they want to travel in these positions, they want to stay close to home, or they plan on moving. So right now we're currently located, like I said, RSI in Phoenix, Arizona. Our original Tulsa Welding School is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have our Dallas campus. We just opened early last year, so we're proud of that growth. We have our Houston campus, and then we have one in Jacksonville, Florida, and we will be opening up a campus in Atlanta, Georgia later this year. So that's also important to highlight because students will be a part of a growing organization and a brand that has been around for a very long time. So we'll jump right into it so we can get to the RSI portion. Oh, for some reason, it is not letting me move forward. All right, there we go. So everything that we do, we focus on the skilled trades. So that means that we stay under that construction umbrella. We don't try to go out and accumulate programs that aren't designed to stick within our specialty area, which also helps with our employment relationships because that way we're able to really specialize in what we train, and our employers know they're getting skilled candidates when they come out of our program. Next slide. The landscape has really shifted in terms of employment, and I know a lot of you attending today, whether you're a school counselor, administrator, instructor, you guys have really seen the shift as well. And we have some great partnerships with schools that I'm really excited about. What that means is that we're trying to accommodate what students are looking for, and that includes technology development, hands-on training. And we train in areas that do not require a degree. So we're not going to put students in extra classes they don't need. This is not a 2, 3, 4-year program. Our programs range between 7 to 9 months. Now, we do offer associate's degree for individuals to come back later in their career if they choose to go that route. But again, since they're not required in the industry, we'll focus on training them in the area they need in a quick hands-on environment and then get them out in the field working in that industry. Next slide. These are extraordinary career opportunities. We're also very, very fortunate that we train in areas that are essential and in demand. And they're universal. So they're all over the United States. The HVAC refrigeration certifications they receive are universal. Same thing with electrical. Everything that's taught is to the National Electrical Code. And of course, welding. We do teach all processes. So we help students get into the structural side of the industry, get into pipeline, or even fabrication industry and aerospace. So lots of opportunities. And I think later we'll share with you some of our employment success in terms of getting our students hired. We have a very high success rate, and a lot of that's because we are good at what we do. We have a good reputation, but it's also because we train in areas that are in high demand. Next slide. There you go. Chart your own journey. We truly believe that education changes lives, and we offer technology innovation that allows students to do a hybrid model. So while we truly believe hands-on is the best way to learn, and that will be the primary resource for students, we do allow opportunities where they can do some work remote. Depends on which program. Welders usually do that 1 day a week. That way the other 4 days they are in that shop welding hands-on. And then our HVAC electrical students will typically do 2 days remote and then do the 3 days on campus hands-on. So it allows that opportunity, and we're meeting the need of that market. We actually, every student receives an Oculus, so they get to do some training in a VR setting in addition to the online technology. So it's a pretty cool option, and most of our students have really been supportive of that, especially our high school students, because they're coming out with a new set of skills and we're able to accommodate their learning style as well. Licensing and accreditation, that's important. One of the number one things I get asked by school counselors or staff that I work with is, are you accredited and do you accept FAFSA? Because we know the majority of students typically will use some type of federal funding, combination of grants and student loans. So the answer to that is yes. We're accredited by the Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. We have different licensure. Every state that we're in, we're obviously licensed to be able to educate and train. And then we're a member of the American Welding Society and the Better Business Bureau as well. Tools for you. So not only do we work exclusively with high school students and their families, we invite them in to our campus for a physical tour to walk around, see the hands-on environment in places where you might be remote. Some of you might be joining us today from other states. We can do virtual tours, which is nice, but as a resource for you as a school. So we have a dedicated high school team that goes out to the individual schools and will present to your students. Now here it says senior presentation. That is our primary market. We want to make sure we're helping get students, aligned with a career option or field as they graduate. But we'll come out and talk to all students. So, some schools will pull together juniors and seniors. Sometimes we'll go into CTE classrooms. But general education classrooms are awesome as well, because just because a student wasn't able to get into, maybe construction or welding while they were in high school, and let's face it, a lot of those programs get cut and they're not available. So we will talk to any type of population of students. And our presentation is very interactive, like it says here on the screen. It's also very motivating and engaging for not just us. Of course, we're going to promote and talk about trade schools because we know a lot of students are hands-on, but we're really just there to help make sure they have a plan. So whether they want to go into the military, if they're going more of a traditional college or a university route, we're supportive of all of that. But we want to help capture those individuals that maybe feel a little lost, because we know I have a senior myself this year, and life can get a little overwhelming. And so we're there to help those individuals that don't have a plan or just simply aren't aware of some of these very lucrative fields and areas that they can go into. One of my favorite things that students tell me is when I ask, like, oh, what got you interested in doing something like this? They're like, well, I don't want to go to college. And so I always joke with them, I'm like, well, you do realize this is college. It's just career focused versus traditional. So it is a much different environment. We actually, this last month, we had 6 field trips, which was awesome, where we invite campus or students down to the campus. We let you guys go into the welding shop, do some really cool demonstrations. We even have some electrical activities that we do. We do keep everybody safe. And I've had students, or my furthest class probably was about 5 hours from the campus. campus, and then we have local as well. So if that's ever an option, we can facilitate that. Lunch and learn staff events. So if you like any of the information you hear today and you want to learn more about that, again, we can do in-person and virtual, where if you guys have a meeting, we can come in, bring in some breakfast for you guys if you meet in the morning, or we can do the afternoon for lunch. And then we also do have a trailer that we can bring out and do demonstrations for maybe schools that aren't as close to campus. But whatever you need, we're there for you. We can provide the information to you, the staff, so that you can filter that onto your kids, or we can talk directly to the staff as well. These are our current campus locations. So we've got Phoenix, Arizona, with RSI. We've got Tulsa, Dallas, Houston, Jacksonville. And like I mentioned, we're opening up the Atlanta, Georgia. And if you notice little colored boxes, that just simply states what programs are offered. So every campus has electrical, HVAC, refrigeration, and welding. And then 2 of our campuses also offer the electrical line worker, which is more the industrial, up on the big power poles kind of program. We are working on additional programs to add to our assortment as well. Again, all under that construction umbrella, kind of sticking within our lane of expertise. But again, I like to highlight students are part of a growing organization, and they have access to any of our campuses, whether it's to retrain after they graduate, kind of freshen up on their skill set, or if they're looking for career employment opportunities. And it certainly doesn't have to be in states that just our campuses are located in. I've got several students up in Alaska, Montana, you name it. We have a lot of industry partners, so we'll help all of our students. Our history, and we point this out just to simply let people know the reason we kept our name separate is Tulsa Welding School actually last year celebrated their 75th anniversary, and RSI celebrated their 60th this year. So we're pretty proud of that. And if you look over on the right-hand corner, so combined between the two, well, we have several campuses, but we've got over 45,000 graduates. So it is nice to be part of a growing organization, and we'll continue to grow. This here is a video, I believe, either of some of our welders in the shop. It just kind of gives you a highlight of what it looks like, and our programs are very, very hands-on, so we can play that.
I was just working like a dead-end job, really.
Finally, I was like, I can't do it anymore. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to go be a welder.
I've never felt independence like this before.
That first paycheck was like, whew, what do I do with all this?
It's been such a blessing in my life.
I'm very competitive. I want to beat the boys. I can assure you, you can do it.
If I can do it, you can do it too.
I'm a single mother, and I can do it. I know they can do it because women before me have done it.
I love that video. That's all about female empowerment. These are male-dominated industries. That's no secret, but women are really good at different types of processes of welding. They bring a different, problem-solving skill set when it comes to electrical, HVAC. So we're a big supporter of that. We partner with the Women in Trades. And then we have lots of opportunities. So when we go out and we present in the schools, it's not that exact video, but there's one very similar from testimonies from our students. And I love it because anytime the girls see that up on the screen, they kind of light up because they can be really good at this and they don't always think to go into it. But we love supporting all types of students. So thank you for sharing that. All right, so these are our 3 main areas. So we've got our welding program, HVAC refrigeration, where we have 2 programs available there, and then we have our electrical. So all high demand areas, but we'll go ahead, and I think this one highlights welding first. So when we click the next slide. Oh, this one's going to talk about our AccuWeld. So one thing I do want to say about all of our programs before we go into this part, there is no experience required. So like I mentioned before, a lot of schools don't have, CTE programs, or if they do, maybe they don't offer the construction or the agriculture or the welding. So some students have never been exposed to this. Others might have experience, which is awesome. But either way, the student starts off from the very first day. We do fundamentals where we break it down. And then basically build from there. So my welders are literally in the shop their second day. So the first day they do safety training. It's about a 5-hour course. And then that allows them access their second day to get in the shop and weld. My HVAC refrigeration students, they will be up working on air conditioning units by their second month. And then my electrical students will be wiring up an entire 3-bedroom house by their second month of the program. So, you know, when you're able to hone in on just the skills that are needed for those students, you're able to get through that curriculum a lot faster. And we break it down to where they learn in a controlled environment that's smaller, makes it, you know, more efficient. Then they go out and practice in the real environment. So the model works, and students who are more hands-on, because we know we've got a lot of those type students as well, really benefit from that. So we're looking at right now is our OcuWeld, and that is our curriculum that we developed that it is downloaded onto the Oculus. All students, no matter what program they're in, will receive an Oculus. If they're a welding student, they'll get the OcuWeld. If they're a HVAC or electrical, they'll get something called Interplay. But when I mentioned the hybrid model earlier, this allows students to still be engaged in a hands-on environment, but to do it virtually. So the days that they are remote, they will have a laptop that's included in their program. They will log in on that laptop. They'll do their bookwork side of things. They'll also have the Oculus to reinforce what they're learning hands-on at the campus when they are there. So that way, when they're at the campus, that's where they do all their hands-on lab classes. So this is the Interplay that I was mentioning. So this is for the HVAC electrical, and it's set up the same way. They're going to have engaging modules, I guess we call them, and they're usually anywhere from like 20 to 30 minutes, and they help them reinforce what they're learning in the classroom. All right, so to break down welding a little bit more, we'll actually go to the next slide. I think it breaks it down. There you go. So this is a 7-month program. All students will get a brief introduction, and then they'll go straight into stick welding, which is really a lot about muscle memory, repetition. That's more your structural. So that's going to be your bridges, your high-rise buildings, your dams, your infrastructure. Then we're going to get into MIG. MIG is a little bit of an easier process. It's a one-hand wire feed. So this is more production line type stuff. And it's actually a really, really good foundation because MIG is intertwined into some other parts of welding. TIG is what most students aspire to get into because that is the higher paying side of the industry. And TIG is both pipeline and all different types of pipelines. So I always tell students, you know, when I first started working here, to me, I always associated welding with the oil industry, but it's so much more than that. Is that a big part of it? Absolutely. But think about it. We have water, we have sewer, we have gas pipelines, and of course, oil. So when you think about like pipeline welding, it really incorporates all of that. And then TIG is also part of the aerospace fabrication. So that career opportunity at the bottom where it says thin alloy welding, those students are doing TIG welding on aluminum, stainless steel, thin alloy. So all those thinner exotic type metals. So really a student has the option to go into any of those industries, and we let them choose which one they want to specialize in at the end. And then if you caught on earlier, I kind of mentioned it when I was talking about our different campuses, we have a guarantee where students can come back and freshen up on their skill sets, utilize our shop and our materials to practice for weld tests. And we do that as well for our electrical and HVAC students. So I always tell them, you know, once they're graduate, we still consider them a student and they have access to all of our resources, including our career services team as well. So here's the video that's going to give you a quick glimpse of what the OcuWeld curriculum looks like for our welding students. Hopefully that looks pretty cool. I always see the kids' faces light up when we're talking to them in the classrooms for sure when they get to see that. All right, so our next area, HVAC refrigeration. And as you could probably imagine at RSI, since we're known as the Refrigeration School, and the kids always joke, do you guys work on refrigerators? So we actually don't. However, our students will know how to fix refrigerators because it has all the same moving parts as a refrigeration unit. And it's not just air conditioning, it's the commercial side of the industry as well. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So the very next slide, I think we'll introduce the refrigeration technologies. So just a little not a typo, it actually just changed. So this is now a 7-month program. Because we added solar to the HVAC. So this is very mechanical. So those students who are hands-on and want to learn how to fix air conditioning and heating units, both residential and commercial. And so I always break down residential as your home, it's a smaller size unit. Commercial is a large building. And if I'm in their classroom, I'll give them the example that your classroom is considered commercial here at your school, grocery stores, those kind of places. And then the commercial side of it for refrigeration are going to be like your grocery stores, your QT, Circle K's, behind the scenes at hospitals and hotels, because those are refrigeration units, ice makers, even like frozen slushy machines, those ice cream machines that always seem to be broken at McDonald's and you can never get your ice cream cone. All of that's part of that refrigeration industry. So again, when I first started working here, I thought air conditioning, but it's so much more than that. So students really have some great opportunities to go into just about anything, whether it's a service technician. We do teach installation and maintenance. So they're going to learn every aspect of the field and can choose their area to specialize in. The next one would combine electromechanical technology. So just like it sounds, the mechanical part is the HVAC refrigeration. And then we added 2 additional electrical courses. So these individuals can be electricians or HVAC technicians. And then there's also a career opportunity where you see it says facilities engineer, because they can do pretty much anything electrical or mechanical. They can work at property management companies, hospitals, hotels, school districts. So they want to be part of a team. That's more the direction they can go. Or if they're more independent or maybe want to work, just as 2 individuals or by themselves, that's typically where the technician work comes in, whether it's HVAC or refrigeration. And that one's only a 9-month program. So again, very short, very quick hands-on, but designed to get them into the field at a higher level. Our electrical program, we have a couple of them here. The electrical applications and technologies really is the same program. It just has 2 different names depending on which campus they're attending, and then the line worker. So we'll start off with the electrical applications. So that one is our 7-month program. And again, they get the fundamentals of electricity, so they don't have to have any prior experience. Same thing with the refrigeration. I don't know if it had the coursework on there, but they get fundamentals of refrigeration. Then they jump into, so that electrical wiring residential, that's the one I mentioned is the 2nd month of their program. They're already up wiring a 3-bedroom house from start to finish. Commercial is a larger size building. They work with conduit. They get the solar course. And then from there, they go on to advanced electrical courses. My favorite is the emerging electrical applications, because that's all about the new things in the industry, including, electrical car charging ports for all the different smart and electrical cars now, smart home technology, fiber optics, and we even go into industrial size conduit and wiring for those students. So if they want to be electrician, this is the best fit. That combination program is good for students who want to do electrical and HVAC. And then the HVAC by itself is for students who want to do more the mechanical side and just, focus on that. And then again, you can see here with the electrical technologies, same program. It just has a different title depending on where they are going to be attending their program. And then electrical line worker, you can see this is a much shorter program because these individuals are really doing the industrial side of the industry. They're getting up on the poles. In fact, they actually do that as one of their assignments. They learn how to climb up these poles and of course work in a safe environment. So they get construction out of that, general pole line construction, field equipment, how to even handle like cranes, and because you got to lift a lot of this stuff, and they get introduction to transformers and grounding as well. So this program is only offered at our Dallas campus and our Jacksonville, Florida. So hopefully once we get some additional space, we'll be able to roll that out to our other campuses. But as of right now, RSI, this is the one program that we do not offer. All the other ones we've discussed, we do have. So why Tulsa Welding School or RSI? Because we focus on student support and success. We are a small school feel, which is awesome. And not just feel, we are a small school. So I always tell students, we have about 1,000 students at RSI. At any given time, usually about 200 to 250 on campus, which so again, we keep it nice and small and offer lots of resources to help. Majority of the programs in as quick as 7 months. Career assistance, and I always tell students, this is literally the reason you're here, is to get trained and then get out in the field at a higher level. And we will help with that with all of our students. And of course, hands-on training as well as the VR technology added into that. So upcoming events, the line worker open house, again, that's going to be only at my Dallas and my Jacksonville campuses. That's going to be on May 24th. Then my Houston campus has an instructor seminar. All campuses, including RSI, we have a open house in July. It's on a Saturday where we bring in employers to meet with students, tour the campus, and we don't have to wait for that. In fact, the majority of my team, we're there at least, 2 Saturdays a month. We do night tours because we understand most students are in school during the day or parents might work as well. And we'll be doing tours all throughout the summer. So I believe the very last slide will have my contact information. And I love Imagine America because they allow you opportunities to ask questions. So I'll be here to facilitate anything that you guys need, answer those questions, and really be able to help out. So I think these next couple of slides, oh, there you go. Yep, I was going to say it might go into our student support staff and our financial services. We have a whole financial aid team and a career service team. So we're here to help our students every step of the way.
Great job. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
Let me jump into the questions real quick. What's the difference between the programs that are offered at RSI and the programs that might be offered at a local technical school?
Good question. So it varies. Some of the local tech schools, I know we have something out here called WestMech or EVIT, so that's for students while they're in high school. Our curriculum is just more advanced than that. And again, we align with employers. In fact, we have a board that meets a couple times a year to make sure that we're training what employers are looking for. In terms of our instructors, I think that helps set us apart. Not that the other schools don't have great instructors, but we have a handful that have been with us for over 10 years and even a couple more than 15 that are truly passionate about teaching students. Most of them even have their own companies. So if a student is, aspiring to maybe be a business owner, an entrepreneur, and honestly, I think it's that family approach. So we work with our students. We make sure if they don't show up to school, we call them, we call parents. This is not where you get lost amongst thousands of students. Like we are there helping support them throughout their program.
Second question, Tamara. Does RSI offer assistance to potential students to walk them through the financial aid process?
Oh, 100%. Especially since there's been some changes the past couple of years. So yes, we have a full dedicated team, both on campus and over the phone, because we know some students either, live a distance and maybe can't make it. So we set up an appointment to walk you through that FAFSA. We have a team that literally does nothing but that. And then once those results are in, we have a team that will walk you through what you're eligible for in terms of grants and student loans. If there's any extra scholarships, because we offer our own internal, and I always send a list of scholarships to my students from some external resources. Of course, Imagine America is part of that as well. We'll send you the link so students can apply for the scholarship that's offered through them. And then one other thing I forgot to mention, that we do not have a GPA requirement. Your student does have to graduate from high school or get their GED. And we know if they're coming up on graduation, we can still help them now, save their spot. They just can't physically start until they have that. But that's important because some students aren't, the best at the academic piece, and that's okay. And that's why those students actually are really good with us. So we do not have a GPA requirement, but they do need to graduate.
That was the final question.
Was it? Awesome. I beat you to it.
You beat me to it. Let me go through a few financial or some housekeeping issues before we close today's session, Tamara. The foundation has compiled and will forward a set of all the questions that have been asked on this in this session and send those to all the registrants. We've also recorded this session and we'll forward this recording to all the registrants for them to get a second chance to listen at this excellent presentation. You're going to also receive a exit survey, which we hope that the participants will look at and answer. And we really do appreciate the feedback from the participants. Before closing, I want to thank all the participants, the education participants, for taking time out of their very busy schedules to join us today. Tamara, Lauren, and myself, we know that you've got a lot of demands on your time. We just appreciate you carving out a little bit of time to hear today's presentation. Thank you very much. Also like to thank Tamara for sharing her thoughts today on an excellent presentation, and urge you to take her contact information, contact her directly relative to anything that she talked about today, or RSI, or maybe Tulsa Welding if that's what you're interested in.
Thank you so much.